All right, so I've been watching some videos on the Delphi case. Now they've come out. Some people have been putting out videos. Anthony Greeno from True Crime Investigators uh, was one of the killers. You know what gets me is here's the thing. You know, it didn't make sense, and that's why I had a feeling something was going on because the sheriff's department went ahead and confiscated a whole bunch of phones, iPads, laptops, I guess, that were all given out by who? Kelvin or Keegan Klein. So when he got busted, all the phones he had probably led to other people. And the main guy that probably was involved or the cause of it, which probably was some kind of a payback killing or something. Very well could be. But there was a reason why they didn't give Anthony Greeno, his phone back when they offered to give back the phones and iPods of other people that had that merchandise that uh, Keegan Klein sold them people, but yet they wouldn't give Anthony Greeno's phone back. And it was how many years? And the other videos and the interviews of the people that had their merchandise taken said they had their merchandise back within a week or two or whatever. It wasn't no longer than a month. So it's been a very long time since Anthony Greeno has gotten his phone back, and they won't give him his phone back. So, you know, you put two and two together. Well, there was a reason for that. Now, what I'm interested in is the deal that he was talking about with Sean Harmon. What kind of deal did they make? Sean Harmon was pretty pissed off at him about something, saying that Greeno used him, and Greeno threatened to keep his mouth shut or something like that. Now, we don't know if Harmon was making that up. Harmon's been shooting the junk again, which it's none of my business, or I don't judge him for it or whatever. But it's hard to believe what he says. But I do believe there was some kind of connection between Harmon, Chadwell, uh, Keegan Klein, Greeno, all these guys down there. And it very well could have been that they found out that Eric was an informant. Therefore, it would have made and I imagine these guys started getting in trouble and they figured it out that maybe there was an informant involved. Somebody was ratting them out, and it could have been. We won't know. I imagine they're still picking up some people that were involved in it. But then again, I don't believe anything that's on YouTube anymore uh, until I see it with my own eyes. Uh, but that's pretty much what's going on in the case. Like I said, one phone led to another, led to a name, led to people which probably didn't know really what was going on. And once they found out, they probably sang like canaries. Well, wait a minute, this guy and that guy and this guy. And but I do have to top my hat off to the police because they did realize that they were being led on a wild goose chase. And it made sense. Harmon calling in. No, it was his dad and his son and yada 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 yada. You know, okay, they could be suspects in it too because it was a big ring of them. It wasn't just one guy. I think it was more people involved in it. Greeno might have been just the guy that did the killing, lured him there or whatever, or one of the people there. I'm still thinking there was more than one person there. That's what I'm thinking. So, now the videos are coming out. They're saying Greeno's in prison or something. They got picked up in Georgia. And there's a couple people that are kind of pushing the limit and saying that Anthony Greeno is the Delphi killer. And there's probably more people that were involved in it. I don't think he did it himself. I think there was more people involved or knew about it. And here's another thing. Greeno called, messaged me on Facebook when I did a video about him, and he wasn't too happy. And I did another video about the Evansdale girls, and I was questioning, who the girl was that he was with. He said it was his daughter, and I was like, well, I'm curious about it because, what if they only found one of the Evansdale girls and the other one was not who they thought it was, but was another girl that was dead? That means we would be looking for a girl that's 15, 16, 17, somewhere around there. That happened 12 years ago, I think. I don't know how old the girl was when they came up missing, but they were lured away from their house. They did find two bodies. Out there, but they were decomposed and everything. So at that time, well, some of these people could be right. Maybe they got it mixed up. There was two bodies out there. They were both kids, but one of them wasn't who they said they were. So, is it possible? I don't know. I would check it out though. Like I said, I would check it out. And he has been in my he's been in my chat. So was that guy Sean Harmon. But we don't know yet. Till the police come out and say they got him or whatever, I don't believe anything they say. I think they're all connected. I think all these guys knew each other through this gang or club, just like Chadwell was talking about. On social media about, I seen them videos. That's probably what it is. These people need help. Greeno, if you're still on the run, turn yourself in. This ain't like you had sex with an underage kid or something. Supposedly they're saying you're the killer. Actually did the killings, the cause of it, and actually one of the people that were there. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know, but I have seen a couple videos out recently within a couple weeks that were put out saying that he is definitely the killer. Could have been, But like I said, everybody was focused on one guy. It was one guy, and I kept saying it's not. There's many of them involved. It's a big ring. One phone, one computer, one laptop led to a name, led to something else, led to something else. So, like I said, I don't believe nothing until I see it. When I see it, then I believe it. You know, I'm still working on what was the connection with Sean Harmon. He did have a pit bull at the time. He was homeless and in that area at the time. So was Chadwell. Do I think maybe all these guys? It's all connected. Could be. Could be everything the police were saying. It was a big thing. But here's the thing. Oh, hey, Christopher Valdez, how you doing? Greeno, Greeno's in the joint. I don't know, Christopher. I don't know if that's true, but here's the thing, though. What got me is they wanted you people to go out there. Why? To go out there and disturb the crime scene and contaminate it as much as possible and to relive it. And I found it sickening that they wanted people to, they were making videos, bring your kids out here to the bridge. And I was like, man, it's almost like they're trying to lure back people to a place that has no security, no cameras, no nothing, because they got away with it the first time. So I was like, take the bridge down. It's old anyways. Kids shouldn't be on that bridge. If a kid fell off that bridge, it'd kill him. But yet they're making these videos. Come back out to the bridge. Bring your kids. Don't be afraid. Come out to the bridge, you know. And it's really not a safe place. And it's really not anywhere for a young kid to be by themselves. or a woman by herself. I don't get it why people flock to areas like that where people have had a dramatic ending to their life. I don't understand it. But do I think Greeno has a hand in something? I think Greeno ain't telling the truth. There was a big reason why they didn't give him his phone back. Not because the killer called him, I don't think. They would have took the data off his phone and gave him his phone back, just like they did with the other guys that got their iPads and stuff taken. They went through, took the data off of it, and offered for them to get the merchandise back. But they didn't for Greeno, and that was a big thing. That was a big thing. Well, to me, it was a clue. To other people, it was just like, oh, well, I was in his chat. And they were calling me a hater. I'm like, why am I hating? I'm just telling the dude to turn himself in if he's wanted. If he wants his phone, get a lawyer and subpoena his phone. But there was a reason why they weren't giving him his phone. So, I don't know. I imagine there's a whole bunch of them still on the run, still haven't been picked up. So, yes, is it possible something else was going on? Some kind of movies were being made? Or somebody did something for a music thing or something? Or production company or something? It could have been Greeno was getting drugs from all these guys, Keegan Kline and all the rest of them, and when they busted one of them, they busted all of them, and it led to child porn or whatever, or murder probably, or snuff films or whatever. Here's the thing, I'm interested to see if them girls were killed there, or if they were staged there. That's why no one found them the night they came up missing. When they went back the next day, they found the girls later on in the day or whatever. So in the phone, the girl's phone pinging off of towers all over town, is it possible they were trying to do something with the, and there is a couple voices, I believe, on the recording of Bridge Guy. That's if it wasn't edited. Yeah. I don't know. But Christopher Valdez, I don't know if he is in the joint. He might be. But it might be someone's trying to help them elude authorities. So be on the lookout just in case. These are violent, whacked out dudes. Part that they belong to gangs, clubs, motorcycle clubs, and stuff. So you have to be careful. Really. Oh, I got such a headache. So, now Sean Harmon and people wondering what was that all about. Could have been a diversion to throw everybody off of what was going on. So that would make him and all these guys could be accomplices to cover up a crime. And I tried to explain that to people. They kept saying, "Well, there won't be any. There ain't nobody gonna do anything. Nobody's well, no, not if they knew, and they were helping Greeno elude authorities. That's accessory to a crime. If they knew Greeno was the killer, and other people were the killer, but they were creating a story to try and throw people off." That's federal charges, man. That's like you committed the crime. So, yeah, it's real. Yeah. I can tell you that much. It's real. All this, we got hit with a lot of snow. Real wet, heavy. And my sinuses, my eyeballs are killing me today. Headache. So, anyone else out there got any theories? I think we're onto the right thing. I think it was many of them that were involved in this club. You know, you had Chadwell on there talking about he knows a bunch of people in his club or whatever, gang or, you know, and they did catch him with a 9-year-old girl. I bet you he was there, if not bridge guy. I think they all knew each other. And you know there's drugs behind it, meth, pot, money, prostitution, and all that. You know, it goes with the trade. Well, I can only say this again: if Anthony Greeno's watching, and he is wanted, truly, and it ain't a bunch of bullcrap live stuff, then turn yourself in before, you know, somebody gets hurt again. That's all I could say. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to take my advice. You don't have to do nothing. Just like your chat was telling me that day I was in there asking you to turn yourself in. I know your chat room got pretty upset at me telling me mind my own business and Greeno's not asking me for his advice or anything. But it always goes back to that one movie program, Beretta. Don't go to bed with no price on your head. Don't do it. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Don't do it. And keep your eye on Bubba once you get in there. And keep a tight sphincter. And cover your butt. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. Nah, turn yourself in, Greeno. Keep telling you that. It's a manhunt. People are like, they don't do manhunts no more. Oh, they do. Oh, yes, they do. Yes. So, yes, keep your eye on the sparrow, Christopher Valdez, but I thought I'd throw in my own lyrics there. Keep your eyes on Bubba. Yeah, you know, like I said, I think they're looking for more guys, and I think they all had these hot phones. That's how they caught them all. I think one. I think they caught Keegan Klein right away, and he probably cooperated and uh, gave him the phones and everything, and they probably tracked a whole bunch of them. Even the Kirks, the cars, oh, you know, um, yeah, all of them. They probably all know each other from down there. And like I said, Abby and Libby are not the only girls that have come up missing down there. And then you had these MOs are starting to look a lot alike. Like it can't be, you know, nothing more than they're not coincidence. The Evansdale girls, the two girls that were killed, Now, I was under the impression that they only found one of the girls. That's what when I first heard about that case, I knew that there was two girls that they found, or two bodies that they found. They thought that one of the girls was one of them. So I'm not sure. But supposedly, from what I've been watching, they did find two girls out there in Evansdale, and the MOs are similar to Abby and Libby's. So that's not a that's not a coincidence. And I'm thinking, let's check out the Moab girls, because them MOs and signatures are similar. So we're talking there's more than one person involved. It's a big ring. Cuckoos. Glory be to God for keeping us safe and our children safe. And, you got to find all these guys. You got to pick them all up. If you don't, they'll just do it again. If you don't catch them, then their ego gets bigger, and that's when they feed off of it. And then the next thing you know, they got to kill again because they didn't get caught the first time. It's almost like Zodiac Killer. These people are nuts. They really are. I wouldn't doubt it if we find a whole bunch of stuff on the Zodiac Killer and a bunch of other killers and evil stuff, possibly with Greeno. I think maybe there was some kind of evil in there, or it was staged to make it what it wasn't, to make it look like it was a serial killer. Could it have been Greeno? Could have been. He was in my chat. Did he have help? I'm thinking he probably did. But like I said, there was key clues that the police did leave in the press release. Them were clues that they checked everything out that someone was saying, and it didn't add up. And then they put two and two together, and whoever was tipping them in, the police finally figured it out and said, we're going to change something. And there was a reason when the police said, you might be in this room with us right now. Well, that was a big clue, because there was only certain people that are allowed in a double kid murder sheriff police news thing. You got to have credentials to be in there. You got to know somebody or have credential. You got to know. So you either got to be a police officer, some kind of a reporter, investigator, or something. Something like that. Or you would have had to been like Michael Catt was questioned on the case, and that was shocking to me, because I'm like, wait a minute, these dudes have crime channels, meaning they're good guys, right? These guys got crime channels, they're good guys, but it ain't always that way. And when I found out Michael Catt got questioned on it, I was like, why? They only question certain people on a case like that. you know. And then Greeno one day said his phone was confiscated from the police. That was a clue. I was like, oh, that ain't good. But he tried to pass it off as the killer killed him, or the killer called him. But, a high profile case like that, you don't just call some YouTuber like that. You call the news, you call the police, which I think he was. I think he was in contact with, I think he was calling the authorities all the time. And that's why the police gave out clues. Like I said, I think they'll be picking up more of these guys. I think there was a whole bunch of them involved. What club? I don't know. That they haven't released. Anthony Greeno even spoke about he was in a club, biker club or whatever. So this could be huge. This could be everything they were saying. Music involved, uh, maybe movies or whatever, production. Yeah, they could have been making snuff films, porn films, prostitution and stuff. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. I think the police are on the right track, though. You know what? And it's good, though. And you got to get all these dudes. You can't let these dudes run around on the streets. You'll be having women coming up dead again, kids and stuff. You got to shut down. You got to shut down the bridge. If you're gonna have, I would say shut down the trails. It's not if you're gonna keep it open. You got to have security out there. You got to have cameras everywhere. You got to have police walking the trails. You can't just send your kids off or a woman alone out there. And the bridge it's too dangerous for children. And you know what? Nobody said a thing about that. You had these guys enticing people to bring their children and their families back out to Delphi, where Abby and Livy possibly slaughtered or whatever. I found that very, very disturbing. You know, if anything, you tear down the bridge and you shut down the trails. It's no place for children to be alone or a woman alone. But yet they were making videos. Bring your kids out. Let's go on a walk. Let's go. No, I'm sorry, man. That just didn't. It didn't. That ain't cool. It just ain't cool. That was a trigger to me that something ain't right. Something wasn't right. The killer got away with it, and I think he was rubbing it in people's faces, wanting people to come back out there so he could do it again because hell, they got away with it the first time. Well, they thought they did. But, you know, it ain't no place for children or a woman. That's just my opinion. And I'd take it down before a kid goes out there and gets killed or falls off the bridge or a woman gets hurt or something. I mean, what is going on out there? It's like a sacrificial ground out there. Some people say it's hollow ground. It was Indian ground or whatever. Well, all of Indiana was. So was all of America. So somebody was saying it could have been disgruntled, I don't know what nationality Anthony Rene Greeno is. But was it something like that? I don't know. He claimed his mother was killed, but yet you look at the police stuff. Excuse me. And it was a drug overdose. So the police and the autopsy said that asphyxiation from drug overdose. And then supposedly Anthony Greeno said one of his family members killed a girl that gave his mother the drugs or whatever. And then boom. So, my heart bleeds for Anthony Greeno, but it don't make it right. For you to take someone's life that you really didn't have no proof. Because in drugs, sometimes these dealers, they get drugs and the drug dealer might say, this is real good stuff, real potent. Make sure you don't, do a lot of it. And then the dealer tells the people, this is really pure stuff or whatever. So don't do too much of it, And it could have been something like that. And then they blame the drug dealer, the girl that gave him his mother the drugs or whatever. But still, it don't make it right for Greeno's family to so-called go on a killing spree. So I don't know. I don't know if anything is true. Nobody believes any of these guys. They created it, but then they wanted to try and get people in trouble for it, for talking about it. Their videos struck, taken down, but yet they created it and made the videos that Sean Harmon's dad is the killer. Anthony Greeno's mom was dead and he's wanted by the police. Greeno said that, not anyone else. Them were his videos. His phone was taken because of the Delphi killings. But then yet they wanted to try and sue people and get people in trouble for it. It was all a scam, a big diversion to throw everybody off. To cover up what really happened, probably. It's nuts. Believe me, Sean Harmon was making videos saying he was going to kill me, him and his syndicate. Greeno was messaging me on Facebook. How did he find my Facebook? I don't know. I did mention I was on Facebook. Next thing I know, I get a message from Greeno. And I went straight to his page when he was live. I'm like, dude, did you just message me that shit? That I better take down my videos because I'm working on the Evansdale case. And I was showing a photo of you at a bridge. He got all pissed off. And I didn't do anything. I didn't call the authorities or anything. I just said, hey, I even did a video on it. He came into my chat as I was making a video on the Evansdale girls, that one of them might still have been alive, but if she survived, we would be looking for somebody 16, 17 years old by now, because the case happened 12 years ago. So, and then boom, he pops up on He pops up one day on a video with a girl that fit the description of the young girl that was killed, supposedly. Who knows? I don't know. But my job is done. A little bit of pressure, a little bit of time. And they snapped on video, and it all can be used in the court of law and probably will be used in the court of law. You know, same thing with Harmon. He can't handle the pressure. He's shooting up on camera. Dang Harmon. Nah, man. Little bit of time, little bit of pressure. Then things start breaking down. And that's how you solve a murder case. Any questions? Who's in my chat? I know Valdez is in there. Bendejo. Oh, Lynn. Hello, Miss Lynn. How you doing? Bendejo's there. Bendejo, a bridge of deceit. It was all a river of deceit. Here's the reason why the bridge has to come down too, is because it's rusting away and it's falling into the river, and it is contaminating the river and the fish with rust, and it's falling apart. And if we don't shut it down, it's just an accident waiting to happen again. And I don't think they should be taking their children out the Delphi Mohan Bridge or whatever it is, Mile High Bridge. And I don't think women should be going out there by themselves. And I would shut it down before something does happen and someone gets hurt out there again. And what got me is nobody thought that it was just not right that these guys were making videos to bring your kids back out there and your families, that the trails are perfectly safe. And that was a lie. I believe that was probably to get more people to come out there to feel comfortable so they can probably do it again, because they thought they thought they weren't going to get caught. Bendejo, why you want to go out there where 2 girls were killed? Mac, actually, I bet you if they dig around there, I'm going to be honest, I bet you if they get cadaver dogs out there and search that area, it would not shock me if we found evidence of more people being out there. It would not shock me. There's nothing out there. It's a small part out there in the middle of a bunch of farm fields, all wooded with a stream, a river running through it, and wildlife and everything, a bunch of trees or whatever. Uh, on the outskirts of a town and a bunch of farm field. And really, if I was running the show out there, I would say, why don't we just take some dogs? We ain't got nothing to do anyways, and let's just go out there and see if we can't find anything else. They chose that spot for a reason, people. Do you understand? They chose that spot for a reason. They could have done it anywhere. They could have took the kids somewhere and then did whatever and then dumped their bodies there. They could have planned the whole thing for the girls to be killed right there, for a reason. Probably because of the location, and there's nothing out there. So I wouldn't doubt it if we find more people out there other than the people that are in the cemetery. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. It's like the Moab case out there with the 2 girls in the Petito case. And I said in a video, I bet you if you look around there more, you're going to find more people that were killed in that area because it's probably a dumping ground for either an organization, a bunch of killers. These guys might communicate on social media. I need to dump some bodies. Where's a great place? And then they might communicate. They might go around the whole USA kidnapping and killing girls, kids, whatever. This could be huge. It could be huge. I mean, it could be huge. Really could. They could have been communicating through hot phones. I mean, how many of these hot phones are out there that leave no trace of a call or anything, or you can't track it right away? I mean, this is something we gotta. Are they being supplied by an organization, a club with money and whatever to sell drugs and do snuff films or whatever? I don't know. Could be. But like I said, I have no idea if Anthony Greeno is in jail or not. I don't follow these guys around like a puppy. I just make a couple videos at first saying what I think, and then I just move on to something else. But somebody did say that Greeno was in jail. They picked him up in Georgia or something like that, or Florida. And he's going to be expedited back to Indiana. Now, I don't know if that's true. I would say he probably never left Indiana. And it was all a lie, a diversion. And they're very good at it. Supposedly he was a cop. Supposedly he was a bounty hunter. Supposedly he was all kinds of stuff. But as time goes on, they're poking holes in his case that it was all a lie. Yeah. Anthony Shots and all that. He might have been involved. When did he become a cop? That's what I want to know. They might have been using this photo. He might have been part of it before he became a cop. We got to think of that. When did he become a cop? When did the police say, "Oh shit"? They did the research on it. They did the investigation, and the photo led to a cop. And they were like, "This is one of our own boys. He's up in Alaska or whatever." But when did he become a cop? That's the thing. I mean, you got to check it out just to be safe. No, I got a headache like a son of a gun. Excuse me, I'm having some Alka-Seltzer. So what are we dealing with? Well, we're dealing with a bunch of bad boys. Women love bad boys. But women love bad boys until the bad boys start being bad to them. Then the women don't like the bad boys no more. And I think some of these women that these guys were involved with, there's one girl that was on YouTube that was supposedly involved in the Delphi case. And she was saying that she slept with a lot of the guys that were all involved in this thing. And then you had, then she said something about that Chadwell on one of his Instagram videos was saying that was sending her messages through Instagram or something, that they had some girl in a basement that they can train to have sex with the club or something like that, or some guy, Kurt, or one of them dudes, I don't know. But that was a clue too, that it was more than one. There might have been one guy that was the head guy. I hope this headache goes away. It's not a tumor. I'm having some Alka-Seltzer. I know if this don't work, dude, I gotta leave here. I'll pop and leave. I don't like to take a leave because they say it's supposed to be bad for your liver. Or maybe that's ibuprofen, one of them two or not. I don't know. But Christopher Valdez is saying Greeno's in the joint. He's probably smoking a joint right now. I don't know if he's in the joint. Excuse me. I don't know. My only thing to them is turn yourself in. Yeah. Same thing with Sean Harmon. Good God. Stop shooting up junk on the. It's none of my business, but kids watch that shit, man. And it ain't, like I said, it ain't none of my business. No, I ain't eating no more pork rinds. I had a small bag the other day, a small, tiny bag of pork rinds. A matter of fact, I didn't even finish them. And no, I don't want no more Pepsi. No. Last night I had a kale, or no, well, yeah, a little bit of kale and celery and strawberry smoothie with cranberry juice, which I think I'm going to have another one tomorrow morning. Oh, what time is it? 1:15. Man, it snowed all day today. I'm telling you, we got every bit of close to a foot of over 8 inches. I guarantee you that much. And I think here in a couple days we might be getting some warmer weather. But I'm glad everything's going good. And I would be investigating the Evansdale case to see if they actually got both girls right. Because what got pissed off was, or what got everyone pissed off was, is I lined the girl's face that was missing in the Evansdale killings. The young girl, she was the younger one, and I lined that up with Greeno's girlfriend or whoever that girl was with him on that video. I don't know if it was his girlfriend or his kid or whatever, but there was slim similarities there, and I was like, Now, if they never found the real girl that was kidnapped from in front of her house, and they found somebody else out there, is there a good chance that that girl could still be alive and she was kidnapped for some reason 10 years ago or whatever, however long ago it was? And I thought to myself, well, she would be a teenager by now. And that's how I got wrapped up into the Evansdale case. And it didn't click to me because I'm pretty good with faces and voices. And I didn't even know about the Evansdale case until I read about it, and it showed a photo of a young girl. And I was sitting here watching YouTube one day, and it clicked, that face. It clicked. I said, "Holy crap! That looks like that girl from Evansdale." So I pulled up both photos, and I did it on one of my live chats, and I started going, "What do you guys think?" Asking my chat, and I pulled up the girl's photo, and then pulled up the Anthony Greeno video, and I'm like, "Listen, if this little girl was kidnapped and someone else was put in her place, and they found someone else out there, is it possible she could still be alive? And maybe it was some kind of a kidnapping child ring or something like that. And maybe she's still alive, like who's that one girl that got kidnapped? And she thought she was hundreds of miles away from her house, and she was actually only 5 or 10 miles away from her house. I don't know. That girl, she had blonde hair. And she was missing for like 10 years. And the whole time, she was only 10 miles away from her house. The whole time. So, and then, Greeno got pissed at me. And I said, well, hey, I'm just investigating the case, just like you're investigating Delphi and everything. I'm investigating Delphi and the Evansdale and the Petito case. And it's just my opinion. You know, if anything, I'm trying to save a young lady's life that possibly could have been kidnapped 12 years ago. I don't know, but I got to run to the gas station. I was out shoveling snow out in the parking lot today. By the time I came in, I was soaking wet. The snow was so wet and heavy, sticking to me. All right, I'll be back, folks. Wait, what time is it? Nah, I'll be back in a couple minutes. I got to go get a pack of cigarettes. You guys watch the place. I'll be gone. I'll be gone for only about 3 minutes. The gas station's just right down the street here. Yeah, but this case is not over yet. It's still ongoing. There's many involved, I believe. That's what I believe. Then again, am I professional? No. I'm just somebody that pays attention to certain things. I knew something was up once Greeno started getting pissed and actually sent me a message. Uh, and I was like, F you. And then he's like, I'll strike you and your channel will get taken down. And I'm like, hey, I'm just doing some investigating. That's it. And then poof, he deleted all of his stuff or all of his messages that he sent me in Facebook one day. And then he went live and I went right to his thing and said, dude, did you just send me a message through Facebook? And one of his people in chat said, no, it wasn't him. He don't even know you. I said, you're right, he don't. It's sad now because some of us, law-abiding citizens, I couldn't do something like that. I couldn't do what these guys have done to these women and kids. How do they? I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with this world. This world is sick. I don't know how these dudes can do this kind of stuff. And they think it's cool. And women love it. Women love these bad boys, tough guys, kid killers or whatever. Until it's too late. They're screaming for their lives. Yep. I'd say we got a lot of work to do in America. But that's just me. I'll be right back. right out into the snow. And Deho, if you're out there, keep an eye on this place real quick. I'll be right back. Keep time. See how long it takes me. There's all kinds of snow out there, but I'm going to mark time at 1:24. Be right back, Jack. Making any plans, Dan. Don't need to be coy, Roy. Sorry. A lot of plow trucks out tonight. All right, I'm back. Where were we? All right. So, yeah, once again, I don't know if it's true if Greeno's in jail or not, but that's what the reports are saying. You know what? My head is starting to feel a little bit better since I just took that Alka-Seltzer, but if it don't get any better here by 2 o'clock, then I'm going to have to take me and leave so I can get some sleep. But hopefully tomorrow I can go pick my acoustic guitar up. It looks like they're getting the roads pretty good plowed out here. At least 20, the main road. And hopefully the store is open tomorrow and I can go pick up my acoustic. Get that over and done with. And then I got to rebuild my collection. I can't believe I got rid of my Schecter, Sustainiac, Floyd Rose. I can't believe I got rid of my Kramer striped Eddie Van Halen 5150 guitar. I can't believe I got rid of a lot of stuff. You guys ever try that 5150 212 amp? Anybody in my chat play guitar or music or anything? I had one of them PV 5150, the original 5150 212 cabinet tube amp. I sold it. That thing screamed too. It was a beast. I mean, you turn it on like 3 and it would rattle a place in here, this little apartment, but what a snowstorm. Unbelievable. Well, it's heading out east. Thank God it's over for us. It is actually, it's not snowing out. It stopped snowing. So that's probably why all the plow trucks are in town. What's a Jetra? I don't know. I don't know. Is that an amp? I said PV 5150 212 amp. And my Eddie Kramer striped 5150 guitar. I'll have to get another one. I think I got sinus problems. So, any other cases going on? The Petito case. You know, people are questioning me. Why did you want to question Brian Laundrie and Gabby about the Delphi case? Well, because somebody reported that there was a young couple out there fighting before the girls were killed out there, and that there was a van seen out there parked back in the woods back there. Now, I don't know if that was true, but the way Gabby was killed, she was strangled and partially undressed, just like supposedly the Delphi girls. You know, sure, everybody is a suspect. You know, I even said let's question Don and Candace on the Delphi case because there was a report that there was a truck parked on the side of the road out there with apparently a young teenage boy that said they were waiting for their father. Someone had a truck or a vehicle out there. There was reports that now that girl, that boy that was reported on the side of the road, that the person that reported that said that they thought it looked like a teenage boy that was waiting for their father to come back because they were broke down on the side of the road out there. Was it really a teenage boy, or was it a teenage girl that looked like a boy, maybe short hair, maybe wearing a ball cap, maybe a jacket, whatever, boyish figure or whatever, and they misinterpreted it as it being a young teenage boy when really it was a girl? Well, we don't know. I have my suspicions. Lynn, I can honestly tell you I don't know. There has been a couple videos that I watched tonight that said Anthony Greeno is the Delphi killer, that he was the one that did it and he is in prison for it. And I've seen some videos that said he got picked up in Georgia or Florida and is going to be expedited back to Indiana. Now, I don't know if that's true, but it very well could be. That would make sense why he didn't get his phone back, was probably because they connected it to the girls' phones and other people's phones. And then the police were like, wait a minute, this is Greeno's phone number. And everybody was probably, oh my God, are you kidding me? Greeno, the investigator / bounty hunter / police officer or biker or whatever, yep. And then boom, bam, bam, bam. And people probably were just getting picked up. One phone led to another. It's like that Talking Heads song. One phone led to another. I said, oh, what is wrong? I picked up your phone. Yeah. It was connected to the Delphi killer. Yeah. Boom, now. Something like that. I don't know, Lynn, if he's in prison or not. Be safe. Even if he ain't. He's supposedly a very violent person. And to women, too. I guess he attacked a couple women before all this stuff came up. Yeah, he can walk the bridge fast. So can a couple other guys that he knew. He probably knows all these guys that are suspects in the case. That's why their names got brought up in the case, was probably because they are all involved. A big gang, like they were talking. I mean, I would think. I mean, it makes sense, But be safe, because there's a good chance that they made it up to keep him on the run, to make people think he could be trying to kill me. He could be trying to kill a lot of people he might be wrapped up. We got to be safe. It's like Sean Harmon. I was telling people, well, now I got to go on code 3. I got to go to DEFCON 3 because this guy is affiliated with a heroin organization. He could be trying to have us killed for investigating it. Same thing with Greeno. He was involved with drugs, meth. I imagine probably heroin, women. And that makes sense why he wanted to get to Chadwell. Probably to sped up to ask Chadwell, these guys are getting too close. Can you put a hit on them from inside the prison? That's probably why he wanted to get to him, interview him, whatever. But I don't know. It's just it's just a theory, you know. Lynn, are you just starting to figure that out, sweetie? Yeah, he's got problems. He was another one that was making death threats, videos. I didn't do anything about it because to me they're harmless, but to somebody else they're very dangerous. You know, I wouldn't. I would. I would say Anthony Greeno probably is still on the run, and it's possible he did get picked up. Greeno was rubbing it in too. He was photobombing police as he was supposedly wanted. I mean, he was really rubbing it in people's faces. Um, and then I remember that day I was on his chat telling him to turn himself in before it gets real bad. And he started busting out. He was crying. He was upset. I knew we're on to something. Something ain't adding up. You don't have a breakdown like that just because the police want to pick you up uh, for cannabis. I knew something was up once I went on his channel and started chatting, and his chat was getting pissed at me for asking questions. Do I think he's in jail? Probably not. For all I know, Greeno could have been set up. We'll have to wait for all the evidence to come out. But there are videos out there, people that have made, I think Graz, the real Graz, the dude that's real calm. Hey man, how we doing today? All right, man, what are we gonna do? We're gonna chill and watch some videos. Cool, dude. Yeah, don't anyone get upset today in my chat. Oh, there's no way, dude. You're so. I think he made a video already about it that he's a Delphi killer. Understand that if they had any inkling, why is it taking so long to identify the killer? I think they already have. They're trying to protect him because of Lynn. If people find out, once people find out, there would be hunting. They'd be trying to kill him on the streets. There'd be people probably trying to kill these guys on the streets, and the police don't want a bloodbath. So they just pick the guys up, put them in prison to make sure they're safe. And I imagine they'll identify all these people and come out and say it was a big ring. George Lynch. Malmsteen's going to be there. English Beats, I've never heard of them. Al DeNovo's going to be there, or Al Di Marola, George Lynch, Malmsteen, English Beat, I've never heard of them. Motels. So I don't know, but like I said, I'm staying on DEFCON 3 with these guys on the loose. Like I've said, they've been threatening for a while. Even Harmon made a couple of it. People were getting hold of me going, dude, did you see the video that Harmon put out today? He's going to kill you. I'm like, he knows where he knows where I live. Everybody knows where I live. I posted it so many times. Yeah. And then I made another video about him and what kind of deal between Greeno and Sean Harmon did they make between each other. When Harmon was up there saying Greeno used them for this and that, then I made a video about that. Greeno contacted me about that. I was like, dude, how'd you get my Facebook message? He said, YouTube. You talk about it on YouTube. I'm like, oh, wait, I do. So other than that, I thought they were hacking my account with their hot phones or whatever. They could have been. I don't know. Don't worry, we're on them. They're terrorists now. You hack someone's computer. I labeled them terrorists. He's actually now labeled as a terrorist on the run. I don't know. That's just what I do. It's all part of the game. Lynn, are you still there, Lynn? If you're still there, you asked, why is it taking so long to identify the killers? Because it's many. And it's an ongoing case. So they're probably still investigating it because there's more than one person involved. And I tried telling these guys that were on his channel. I tried telling them, if he's wanted and you guys ain't trying to talk sense into him to turn himself in, that you are accessories to a crime. You're abating a felon. You're helping them to evade the police. And I think what Greeno was trying to do was stretch it out for 7 years, because there are some laws that if you're not caught within 7 years of committing a crime, that you can't be charged with it. And that is true, but only in certain crimes, not in murder. Murder, there is no statutory thing for. And I imagine anything violent like that repeatedly, which I guess people are telling me that Greeno's got a very violent police record. And I'm like, well, how could this be? He's a bounty hunter. He's supposedly an police officer and he's an investigator and a reporter and all this. How could that be? That he's got violent felony charges and crimes and assaults on people and he's running around on the street. Delphi got a lot of money for such a small community. I don't know, Lynn. They might have. It might be. It might be everything that some of these videos are saying that it's corrupt down there. Could be. I doubt it though, but not as bad as they say it is. But it could be. Now, a lot of these crime channels and a lot of these people knew Greeno, you know. So, is it a chance that some of these uh, people knew Greeno personally and knew or was involved in something? I seen him on another channel. I also seen him on True Tragedies or something. I forget her name. Betty or something, some woman, some crime thing, and she says she knew him. And he was on there. She wanted him to come visit her. And then people were saying she was some kind of a predator or something like that, or I don't know. It got ugly. You know, I didn't bother going on that channel anymore because she flipped out and was saying something or I don't know, and it was pretty ugly. But what I was trying to tell these people is, if he's wanted and they're communicating with these people, that makes all these channels that knew him and was helping him evade, and that you can get charges put on you for that. Does that make sense to anybody? Is there anybody out there that has half a brain? Especially if it's violent assault, uh, murder. So yeah, it stinks, but uh, you know they have to be careful. Does that make sense to anybody? Why didn't anybody see that there was something wrong with them wanting to go to the scene of the crime and have other kids come out there and women come out there to walk the trails? I found that very disturbing. I was like, wait a minute, there's no security out there. There's no security out there. What about Keegan Klein? What about him, Len? I wouldn't doubt it if Greeno knew all these guys. I wouldn't doubt it if they busted Klein first, got Klein's computers and phones, hot phones that he had. And then I imagine they started going through it, connected the dots. Then they went to Greeno and confiscated his phone. And I bet you he probably tried to make up a story that the caller killed him, but the police probably tracked his phone to Keegan Klein and the rest of the guys. Probably even Chadwell, too. Bendejo, I think I've seen that band on PBS. And Brit Floyd. Which one's Pink and Brit Floyd? A search warrant 11 days after the murders. Yeah. Excuse me. It is very moist outside, or high humidity or moisture in the. Yeah, they picked him up 12 days after the murder. And then they confiscated his phones, iPads, and tracked other iPads that he had, sold to people that they tracked. And they found them iPads that Keegan sold and the phones that Keegan sold to people. And it probably all tracked it back. And then you got photos of Keegan with giant bags of pot, cocaine, money. So they probably were all protecting each other. What if it's associated to the dad? Oh, you mean Keegan Klein's dad? Could be. But here's the thing. They all knew each other. It was everything they were saying. A gang, a club. Some kind of a gang or club or something, biker club or something. And you know what? Greeno even mentioned that in one of his videos, that he belonged to a club. And even Chadwell said he belonged to some gang or club or something like that. Oh, Libby's dad. Oh, you mean, yeah, there's rumors out there that she was pregnant. One of the girls were pregnant. No, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's true or not. The autopsy would tell. And the crime scene photos will tell if Abby and Libby were killed at that spot, or it was staged to look like. See, they had DNA, but they got the DNA from somewhere else, supposedly, from what I was understood. What I understood was they got the DNA from a house somewhere else. So I was putting two and two together. Maybe they did take the girls from the bridge, do whatever to the girls, and then bring them back. That would explain, because they had all kinds of people out there that day that the girls were missing, and searched that whole area and didn't find nothing. And then called the search off and went back the next day to look, and they found the girls. So it is possible. Well, I think it was a lot of people, Lynn. I think it was more than one person. Yeah, could have been. There was a lot of people in that area that were homeless and were missing, and Greeno's from Greeno. He's been around a lot of states. Ohio, the Evansdale killings, uh, all these areas. Is it possible we have a group of people that are in some kind of a club, but when they kill, they make it look like it's something else or something? It could be. There's one thing in common with all these murders. They're all similar. Even the Moab girls and the 8 other girls that were found out there, where the Moab girls were found, and Gabby Petito. There was 8 girls and 2 guys that were found in that area after they found Gabby that were similar, murdered similar to the ways that the other girls were. Nah, freaky, it sure is. Could have been if it's a drug ring, Lynn. If it's a big giant drug gang club, whatever, they all could be connected somehow or made it to look like it. We'll find out after the investigation is closed. It's still an ongoing case. I think they were shot and strangled or something like that, they said. I think they were shot and strangled, similar to what the girls were. I think some of the girls might have been cut. The Moab girls and stuff, from what they're saying. And they were found partially naked, supposedly, just like the Moab girls, just like Petito, just like the Evansdale girls, supposedly. I don't know. Could one of these guys have been a killer? What what sent him off of the deep edge? I don't know. Greeno could have been sent off the deep edge when his mother was killed, supposedly, but she wasn't killed, from what the police and the report is saying, that it was a drug overdose, asphyxiation from drugs. That could have sent Greeno on a killing spree at a young age. For all we know, Brian Laundrie was a killer at a young age. You don't just kill the woman you love with. You lay with in bed at night and you make love to and you're madly in love with. You don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to kill her for no reason, unless he was wrapped up with other women, some kind of a thing. And he could have been. There is reports he was in that town that the girls were at the night they were at the bar. He was there in that town and at the bar that the Moab girls were at. Is it possible they were in some kind of a sex thing? Maybe it could be. Anything is possible. I don't take anything off the table. It very well could have been that they met at the bar. Maybe he was attracted to the two girls. Maybe they swang or something, or we're going to get drugs. Maybe Brian and Gabby were going to get drugs. One thing led to another. Maybe Gabby got jealous or something. I think Gabby was probably had to know something was up. you know, I imagine at the end, Gabby knew something. Either that or the pressure was getting too much for her. And she actually she might have been involved and not wanted to be involved in some of the killings. Maybe, I just got a hunch Brian Laundrie is killed way before uh, Gabby, or he became boyfriend and girlfriend with Gabby or whatever. And there was an eviler thing behind it where he dated her, fell in love with her, but all along his plan was to sacrifice her for some other thing, or I don't know. He could have been screwing other girls. I don't know. All that notebook. He did it. He admitted it. I imagine so. If it was his notebook, I don't know. Something fishy is up about this whole thing. It just ain't making sense. It just ain't making sense. You know, it's funny because we got a guy that's been a drifter out here, just showed up within a year, not even, all tan and everything like he's from somewhere else. Now he's working at one of the gas stations there. And I'm always suspicious because you see him around town, and then the next thing you know. So I got my eye on that because, a lot of people think, well, they might have stuck around the area or whatever. I don't know. Not if they're traveling. They killed somebody. They want to get as far away as they can from there. So why no funeral for Brian? I don't know. There's probably nothing left from what they're saying. But like I said, I would say it's still an open case. The FBI has still got a warrant out for him. Why, if he's supposedly dead? I don't know. Maybe because they think maybe he could have been. I mean, wasn't it funny how there had to be 20 people that popped up that looked just like Brian Laundrie? Why so many lookalikes? There's a reason for that. Why so many people look alike like that? I mean, it's normal for someone to have one, maybe two people that look similar to them, whatever. But all them people that were popping up that that look like Brian Laundrie, I don't know. There's something fishy going on about the whole thing. They just closed it. Well, maybe. I don't know. I say we still look for anyone that looks like Brian Laundrie. There's a lot of people that ain't believing uh, the government that they got the right guy. You know. Hold on a minute. I got to take a uh, little boy's room here. Probably because it was somebody in the community, social media, that was known in the community as supposedly a great guy. You know, there's no way they could have done it because they're this, they're that, they're this, they're that. And it all lined up to uh, what the police were saying in the press release. Why would a sheriff get on there and say, you might be in this room with us, or we might have already talked to you, or you might have already talked to us about this case, and you want to know what we know because we're changing tactics. That was a clue that they probably knew who it was, and they were being led on a snipe hunt, a wild turkey chase or whatever. And they changed their tactics, and then they probably started getting the data back from the phones and yada, yada, yada. Greeno's phone got taken away, and Sean Harmon did the boot scoop boogie out of Indiana, ended up in Kentucky. Uh, these guys started scattering all over the place, and the cops probably were like, we're onto something, because if you're innocent, you don't run. If you're innocent, you cooperate with the police. If you're 100% innocent, you know, I would be investigating Michael Catt's death too. What did he know about Greeno? They were great friends. Was Michael Catt involved somehow? Michael Catt did get questioned by the police. He did live out there at that time. So did a lot of these other guys their names were brought up. That means it was more than one person that was involved. They might not have been there and did the killing, but they knew what was going on. They all communicated with each other. And then once they needed a diversion, what's a better way to have somebody that's known on social media, that can get inside, that can get information of which way the case is going, or direct the case to the way they want the investigation to go. And I was like, I think these guys are diverting us from the truth. I think Greeno's more wanted for something else other than just cannabis. You don't flip out and start crying on video because you got busted with a doobie. I think it was probably something more than that, which I said in my other videos that I did. I had to take down a lot of videos on the Delphi case because I pissed off a lot of people. But I must have been close to what I was trying to do. A little bit of pressure, a little bit of time, and we'll see if they're innocent. And then you had Greeno breakdown on video, crying and asking people to help him. He was asking other channels to help him. Please help me with this. The argument with Harmon on there saying he's been talking to the police and the FBI, and he can't get no answers from the FBI or the police. And that fell into the place of where the police said, we have already might have talked to you, and you might have already talked to us. And that meant probably Sean Harmon was sending him on a goose chase, and then they added up that his dad wasn't the killer, and then found out that Sean was lying about everything. Made it all up or whatever. Is that why him and Greeno were arguing and Sean made a video saying that Greeno and him had a deal and Greeno was using him like a wet condom and trying to direct him from keeping his mouth shut and stuff like that? It all made sense. They probably all were involved in it. I think Sonny Justice said something like that. It's possible. You know, that they probably all knew each other. I wouldn't doubt it one bit. I said that a while ago. It's a big ring of them. Ongoing case. Hoosier the Bruiser. Oh yeah, I don't know if he passed away or not. They say he did. They say he passed away, Lynn. But we don't know that. They could just be saying that. Why? Because they're on the run. Why? Because they might have been implicated in the Delphi case or helping these people escape, which would make them accomplice in a crime. And I might be wrong about that, but I don't think that part of the law has changed in many years. All I know is I don't know any of these guys, and didn't have any beef with them. None of them. Sean Harmon even came into my chat, and for 2 hours I let him explain his story. And at the end of it, I said I'm not buying it. And then I seen him on Anthony Greeno's channel interviewing it, and I went into Greeno's chat and I said I'm not buying this whole story. I'm not buying it. I'm not believing it. Something is fishy about this case. And then ever since I did that, and Sean came into my chat, and I let him explain his story, and then I told him I didn't. And I did in the beginning of that video tell him, you know, you are a suspect in the case. And he said, yeah, I know. People think I'm bridge guy or whatever. So, you know, here's the thing. Sean Harmon didn't come into play until last year, not even last year. So if Sean knew about it for 4 years and didn't say anything, and then the heat started getting put on Sean, and Sean cracked and said he knew what was going on, you know, his dad was the killer or whatever. Well, how would Sean know that? You know, Sean claims that his dad has killed all these people. But how does Sean know that? The only person that would know if he actually killed all these people is you would have to have cold proof. And the only way to have that is if you were there and seen it yourself. So Lynn says Sean thinks he's getting the reward. I don't know. What reward? Oh, you mean the 350,000? Yeah, they can make that check out to Johnny Kramer. A little bit of time, a little bit of pressure. Listen, you don't split. You don't take off. If you're proven, if you're innocent, you don't. Especially on a murder case. Uh, Even if he was caught uh, in a child porn ring, he wouldn't have gotten any. He would have gotten a lesser of a charge. I mean, it was nothing to. But murder, well, murder's a different story, especially a murder of two little girls and possibly more people. I imagine they want to keep that guy locked up and the guys that are in this gang or ring. Yeah, they'll do anything for. One night I went into Michael Katz's chat and Greeno was a guest. And Greeno was talking how he had $80,000 wrapped up into his music council. You know the videos that he does? Usually you see it, it looks like he's in a professional studio. And he is in production. He's got the Greeno production. So I seen him and it looked like he was in a studio. And I was joking around with him because he was cracking jokes and laughing and everything. And I said, yeah, it's always funny until your board melts down. And he started laughing and he said, what do you mean? I said, that mixing console that you have behind you and the studio that you're in, that's a nice studio for recording. And he said, oh, yeah. Yeah. I said, how much you got into that studio? That console's got to be 25 grand, 30 grand. And Greeno said he had 80 grand in it. And Michael Catt turned around and chatted to me or said, what do you want to buy it? And I knew something was up right then, And I said, no, I don't want to buy it. How much does he got wrapped up in? It looks like a pretty good studio. Does he record music and bands there? Because I asked him how much the electric bill was. So it was a scam. And once Cat asked if I wanted to buy it, he turned to Greeno and said, how much you got in your studio? And he said about 80 grand. So right there, I knew that they weren't on the up and up. And then, like a month later, I seen Greeno in a video. And asked him about his studio. And he said, oh, well, it's not a real studio. It's a green screen with a studio on the back of it. So, they were asking if I wanted to buy it. He said, I'll sell it to you for 80 grand. Well, I'm not dumb. I know a studio costs more than 80 grand. From the studio that he had as a back screen, I know was worth more than 80 grand. Excuse me. So I knew something was up, that these guys weren't on the up and up. Yeah, it is funny. I would be investigating all these guys that passed. Maybe one of them, maybe one of them went around and took all the rest of them out that were part of it to try and cover it up. Maybe. We don't know. Michael Catt and Greeno were great friends. And then one day, Michael Catt just dies. The next day, or a couple months later, a month later, not even, some other guy died. So I'm on the lookout for all of them. I don't trust nobody. Because these guys could be making fake videos so they can move around and maybe take people out that they want, that are getting too close to the case or whatever. So I keep my eyes open all the time when I'm out in public for anyone that looks like any of these guys even close to me. Then I go to DEFCON 5 and I pull out my little pencil shooter and just open up to just, you know, once the police show up, they'll be like, Johnny, what's up? I don't know. They look like dudes on YouTube. Got too close. I believe it's everything. It was sacrifice, witchery, sorcery, drugs, sex, rock and roll, all of it, money. I think it was all part of it, especially the way the girls were. If the girls were killed the way they were talking and their bodies were carved up and there was carvings in trees and everything, uh, then yeah, I'm saying, yeah, it was all part of it. You cannot be a good person and slaughter two little girls and all kinds of women and everything. God don't have nothing to do with that. I don't know what's wrong with this world. This world is severely sick. Dog lady, these people actually might have all been placed there, might have been involved in it. The dog lady that they said was a witness out there that was walking around, that was on the trail as the girls were supposedly murdered, but heard nothing, not a pip, not a scream, nothing. And there was other people on the trail too that day as the girls supposedly were being killed, but nobody heard nothing. It didn't make sense. you know. But it's getting late. And be safe, people. These people might not be in prison. They might be trying to divert us so they can either escape or try and kill people, more people that are getting close to it. Greeno did say he owns a AK or an AR-15. Well, how the heck does he have an AR-15 when he's got a record of felonies and violent crimes and stuff? He's talking about when he bounty hunts, he wears he might be a hitman for a club, a gang. I listened to that video and that recording, and I think I can hear other voices on it, off in the distance. Who was it? I don't know. It was a woman or a girl's voice or something screaming or something, but something happened out there. Something definitely happened out there in Delphi. All right, I'm out of here. You guys have a great night. Be safe. Stay warm. Thank Lynn for stopping in. The usual Bendejo, Christopher Valdez. And like I said, these guys might not be, you know, uh, they might not be in prison. For all we know, they're behind locked doors praying to Satan and doing spells or something right now, trying to divert us from it, but stay on track. We'll find out if it was some kind of a sacrificial killing or if it was staged to make it look like that once they're done with the case. So thank Lynn for coming in, Pendejo, uh, and Valdez. You folks have a great night. Be safe. I got to get some sleep.